Op wonders if she's the op for pressing charges against her mill.
I am not the op. The op is you, Bok Bok BTCH, and the posts were taken from RAITAH. Trigger warning. Racism. Forced miscarriage. Gaslighting. Poisoning via drugs. Less than. Mood spoiler. Tragic. But justice is served. Less than. Post 1. AITA for pressing charges against racist mill and leaving hubs for siding with her. Posted September 25, 2023. I'm Filipino and my husband is Chinese. His mom doesn't approve of me from the beginning and even told him that Filipinos are maids only. At the beginning my husband defended me. He even threatened to cut ties with her if she tries anything. So she backed off. He proposed and that's where trouble slowly started again. She was not happy. My sil told me that my mill didn't expect us to last too long, cause she expected my husband to come to his senses. She tried to jeopardize our wedding, threatened not to come, even told our guests that there was a typo in our invitation card and gave them the wrong date. Luckily they reconfirmed it with us. My husband actually waved it off and said that his mom is just scared for him and that I should understand because she grew up in a very traditional home. That should have been my first red flag. But I was too in love with him that I ignored it. I was 8 months pregnant a month ago. My husband insisted on going to Millhouse for a family reunion. I didn't want to cause of the human growing in me and too tired cause I was still working. He insisted cause his mom will not take no for an answer. So we went. Biggest regret. At the dinner, I started feeling weird and lightheaded. I told my husband about it but he waved me off. Told me to go up to his old room and lay down. I said this was different. And we should go to the hospital just in case. His mom butted in and told me not to ruin their dinner. Just shut up and go upstairs. I gave husband a look and said, "You really gonna let her talk to me like that?" Single quote. That dickhead just shrugged and told me to calm down. I did not go up. I knew something was wrong. I called my dad to get him to bring me to the hospital. I felt like I was floating. Body felt numb and I wanted to puke. I felt like fainting. Dad arrived and I left without letting them know. They didn't care, so why should I? I don't know how else to say this. My baby's heartbeat stopped. I was told the chances at this point of pregnancy was low. But it happened. I was drugged and also had alcohol in my system. But I didn't drink any since I was pregnant and I don't do drugs. Sil admitted she saw Mill added stuff into my drinks and food later on. My husband refused to believe that and sided with Mill, saying I must have taken something accidentally. Sil told him what Mill did but he still don't believe it. Sil always hated Mill. Hubs was the fav child. I reported it to the police. Sil is my witness. I pressed charges. I will not stop till she's behind bars. I told some of my closest friends about it. They said I'm in awe for divorcing him. But how can I be with someone who doesn't side with me on this? Who refused to believe his mom is the reason our baby is gone forever. He hasn't even acknowledged that she's gone. All he cares about is clearing his mom's name. I'm devastated. Aida? Why does some say I am? Op has also provided 2 small comments in her post. The first comment adds some more context. Update. I'm sorry I can't reply all, so I'll answer a few questions here. Some has asked why Sil didn't tell me that Mill added something to my food and drinks. She came to me after. She was crying saying she didn't realize at the time and only connect the dots after she found out what happened. She's only 17. And I believe she was really scared going against her mom. As for the toxicology report, there was high levels of fentanyl, opioids and alcohol. As for my friends who called me an awe, they are also close to my husband. And they said it was unfair because he also lost a child. I told them he didn't seem to care. They called me an awe. The second comment is a response to people questioning the specific details of the whole deal. I know I don't have to explain myself to you, but I want to. I won't explain more on the medical concerns because frankly I do not know anything about it. All I know is what happened to me. Whether you believe it or not is entirely up to you. As for my title, my post was banned due to violence on Am I an Asshole, so I wrote it like this instead. I hope you understand that this is a very sensitive subject. And I did come here and search for some support and make myself feel better. It's a human feeling and I'm sorry if that made you think this is fake. Lastly, I may be a Filipina and he is a Chinese. But that doesn't automatically means we're living in the Philippines or China. I purposely did not disclose my country for privacy reasons. Because if I do, people like you will hunt the article down. Which includes my identity along with my family's. I know I'm posting here for all to read, but what makes me feel safe is the animosity of it all. I feel safe cause people like you can't find out who I am. Which is not any different from majority of people on this app. Again, I know I don't owe you an explanation, but my life has been a living hell and I have no control with anything now. So being able to defend myself like this helps. I have nothing else to say. Have a nice day. Post 2. Update. AITA for pressing charges against racist Mill and leaving Hubs for siding with her. Posted September 26, 2023. This is not an update. I'm overwhelmed by all the support I've been getting. Thank you all. I won't lie, but the real reason I decided to post my story was because I did need validation. I wanted to be heard. And I wanted to be in control of something at least. But I did not decided to do this lightly. What happened to me was horrifying and I still can't believe it. Some people are saying I'm not showing enough emotions for this to be real. And that the title I wrote makes them think this is fake. That I should have said my Mill is a baby killer and my husband was an accomplice, so I'm leaving him. I don't understand why I should wrote that for it to be believable. Also, when I previously wrote something similar to that title on another group, my post was banned and deleted for violence. Which I'm not surprised because what happened to me was violence in one of its cruelest forms. How am I supposed to sound? Some people can't understand that some emotions are too strong and too deep. And cannot be translated into words alone. I may not be kicking and screaming in my post, but I have been kicking and screaming since that night. I lost a child. How can someone make that up? Are people just so far up their own asses that they can't comprehend that bad stuff happens to people? And for those who says those stuff would have killed me, I should not even be alive. I did almost die. I am not gonna write out a detailed account of that what happened that night just to appease you. It's not bad enough that my child died. I should have died too, then it would be believable. And you call me the sick FCK? And for all who is saying that my husband is part of it, I cannot comment on this. Frankly, I do not know yet at this point. I don't want to speculate that he is because that only makes it hurt more. I loved him, and thinking that he'd be capable to do this. Some ask why I didn't taste the alcohol. I didn't. If I knew, I would have stopped drinking. But the moment I felt off, I voiced it out. I was pregnant. Some food to me tasted different. I didn't think much of it at that point. I didn't think that my life would ever be in danger. I knew Mill hated me, but I did not know she would ever try something like this. And as for my friends who called me they are also close to my husband. Until today, the both of them do not believe that my husband did anything wrong and that he is innocent and just caught in his mother's lies and that he lost a child too but is in denial. I don't know how to go about this, so I've decided to cut ties with them. But I do have other amazing friends who has been completely supportive and helping me throughout this. I will not touch anymore on Sil as she is a minor. Phil is not in the picture. I will try my best to update you all once this is all over. I'm sorry if my post offended anyone. Final post. Final update. AITA for pressing charges against racist Mill and leaving Hubs for siding with her. Posted September 27, 2023. This will be my final post. Thank you all for your support. It truly means the world to me. I finally have some time to myself and thought I should give you this final update. It's been the most horrible and excruciating few weeks of my life, and it's finally almost over. Ex-Mill couldn't get away thanks to my SIL, and the evidence was also found in her house. She finally confessed after a month. She has received the death sentence this morning because what she did is not taken lightly in our country. Her son is claiming he has nothing to do with it and will receive no punishment since there is no proof. I truly don't know if he was involved or not, but I cannot be around him ever again. I have not spoken privately with him since that night, and now I only communicate with him through lawyers. Sil is currently living with a close relative. She is safe. I know some of you are concerned for her well-being. I am living with my parents again. I honestly couldn't have gotten through this without them. They are truly my rock. We're finalizing our divorce by this week. My family has advised me sue him for everything he and his family has put me through. This was a hate crime. I don't understand how can a grandmother do this just because my baby was a girl and not pure Chinese. I've heard stuff like this happens in China, but we're not living there. Why bring your close-minded ideologies and traditions here? Why did my baby had to pay the price for this? I don't know how people continue life after a loss of a child. Her funeral is next week. I named her Marie Elizabeth. Rip my love. Mama loves you and will see you soon. As the ex-MIL was sentenced to death, the SIL is safe, and the divorce begun processing. This story is flared as concluded. I feel really sorry for the op in this situation. And I really hope that she will get the opportunity to be a mother again. I've got some more Mill stories to share with you, so buckle up.
Reminder, I am not the op.
As the ex-MIL was sentenced to death, the SIL is safe, and the divorce begun processing. This story is flared as concluded. This is by far one of the wildest sentence I've read on this sub. Death sentence within how many days? I really would love to know what country she lives in. In the span of a few weeks, with posts only a single day apart, she was drugged, lost her baby, Mill was arrested and sentenced to the death penalty, and they're now finalizing a divorce? So, whatever country op is in, the court system works very quickly and decisively. On one hand, if I were anonymizing myself, I would compress the legal times to make it almost impossible to Google up the case or news surrounding it. On the other hand, it's a bit of a trope for the legal system in power fantasies to be fast and quick and just. The death penalty for feticide is extremely rare and unusual almost anywhere. We've escalated from super speedy restraining orders. Is Mill execution going to become a trope now? Mill confesses, convicted and sentenced to death, and executed before they had time to hold the funeral for the daughter? So did anyone ever find a news article about this story? Because if this really happened, and really, death penalty in 1 month? There is no way that it didn't make international news. All this in 2 days? Redditlandia is a wondrous place with a speedy justice system.
Is this a Liz original?
First posting till death sentence is 2 days? Are trolls even trying anymore? Yep, I'm done with Boru for today. 3 days from commission of the crime to the death sentence? Anyone who actually believes this might need to get out and get a little more life experience. Ooh, Liz is traveling, I see. Can't be Singapore. It would be in the news, as the last time they hung a woman was in 2018. Over the course of 3 days, the EXMIL goes from being accused but not even arrested yet to receiving the death penalty. This is some telenovela nonsense. It's sad. It's compelling. But the update pace of events and lack of country inclusion was what tipped it into BS territory. 7/10. Liz isn't even trying to sound realistic. This is clearly fabricated. The posts were only made 2 days apart.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.